Well, welcome to the latest episode of the LiveWell Hervey Bay podcast series, brought to you, of course, by Social Shift, who are making change together in our community. And today, I have one of the Fraser Coast leading experts when it comes to health and fitness, the founder and owner of Allied Fitness, Ali Bennett. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's good. Now, you look, well, first of all, I have to say you look insanely fit, which means that you know a lot about health and fitness. And I've been to your gym many times over many years, and I know that there are a stack of people who go there who come from all different walks of life, all different age groups, and I would say that for many of them, their wants and needs about exercising are all really different. And I suppose out of today's podcast, we really wanted to explore the methodology about why it's really important for us to exercise and to keep moving, and what we can do for ourselves as time goes on to live the best life that we want to live and stay healthy. So talk to me initially about the philosophy of movement and why it's important for people to be moving their bodies and not sitting around sedentary.
All right. So I always say to most people, the less you do, the less you do. So when you wake up and you pick up your phone and then you lie on the couch or you turn your TV on and you live a stagnant lifestyle, you then sort of continue that lifestyle for the rest of the day. It's very hard to push yourself. But the more you move, the more you want to move. So the endorphins are raised, and the better you feel, the more you want to do as well. So when we exercise, our endorphins are raised even higher. And that's the happy hormone that's going to help us feel amazing. So I start the day moving pretty quickly. Don't pick my phone up straight away. Do the morning routine, go out, go to work 5 a.m. And then get everyone moving then as well. And I feel like some people step out to start exercise because they want to lose weight, but then it becomes an addictive because it makes them feel so much better.
It's really interesting what you say there, because I think most of us are driven by routine. And when we want to make change, it's our fear of stepping away from a comfort routine into a new routine that might be largely contributing to the fact that we don't end up doing it. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, well, being comfortable feels easy. Well, being comfortable is easy.
Yeah.
So as soon as you step outside of your comfortable area, you're walking into a place of the unknown. And so that's not always a great feeling, and it is scary, but that's where you grow.
I would say that if I walked out on the street now and stopped 10 people and said to them, are you really happy with your level of health and fitness? And do you think it could be better than what it is? I would say 9 out of 10 people would say it could be better than what it is. But I would equally say 9 out of 10 people are just also happy to be just lobbing along, one foot in front of the other, and it's not that much of a big deal until their life is impacted from a health perspective, directly or indirectly, as a result of not staying physically active and moving. So that must be a constant battle for you, because I would imagine you see people come to your gym and other gyms, and they start off really strong with great ideals, and then they start coming 3 days a week and 2 days a week and 1 day a week, and then you only ever hear from them when you might see them on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, we're all too busy. Everyone's too busy. We're all too busy till we don't have the health to be busy anymore. And so while we put everyone else first, we put our kids first, our friendships first, our work first, and put all our energy into everything else, we are letting our own health subside until we can't do that any longer.
Well, health is wealth. And I think it's difficult sometimes when you're in the grind, particularly if you're, both of you are working and you've got young kids and all the rest of it, that it's hard to find the time to be able to go out and train or whatever. But surely there must be things that people can just do at home at night while they're watching TV. Do they do squats during the ad breaks? Or what's some practical things that people who are super time poor, and we'll get to those that have time to talk about what they could do in a gym setting, but those that don't have the time, what's something practical or easy that they could just keep moving?
For when you're really time poor, walk like walk from your car to your workplace, park further away. We don't have to park at the entrance of Woolies. We can park at the back and then push our trolley to the end, or carry our bags out. So that's our weight training. Our farmers carrying our shopping bags. And being at home, we do need to rest because we're living in a society when we like have to go all the time. So we feel guilty sitting still. But maybe when we're resting, we can stretch. We could be mindfully sitting still, so we're not numbing our brains with a TV or a phone.
Yeah.
We're breathing and we're stretching and we're still in peace rather than continuing the chaos.
Do you see the other side of it? And I know we're kind of jumping around here, but some of the things that you're saying are resonating. Do you see the other side of it, where people who get themselves on a health and fitness journey, I would imagine shortly after Christmas and New Year, who just go absolutely nuts and are hurting themselves and go, frig this, I'm never doing it again?
Well, yeah. So we often binge, don't we? So we go 100%. We train too hard. We stop eating everything that we shouldn't eat or that we don't think we should eat, and we stop drinking for a period of time, and then it's too much. So we either get injured or we just have one glass of alcohol, which turns into 100 glasses of alcohol. So we're back on that roller coaster of eating and drinking, and then we start getting more tired. So when we're more tired, we exercise less. So rather than doing everything at 1,000%, maybe like creating a program where we can routinely train during the week and we eat well during the week and we decrease alcohol, so that if we're not doing it perfectly, we don't have to fail.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're talking about moderation and sustainability.
100%.
Yeah. So that, I think all of us have, particularly, you're a bit younger than me, obviously, and, our kids, for instance, who might be similar ages, are probably going to be the first generation who are thinking that they're going to easily live beyond 100 and want to stay as healthy as they possibly can. But equally, they've got so many distractions now.
So many.
That health may not necessarily be, at the top of the pops for them.
And also, it's getting too easy. You get Uber Eats delivered. You don't have to travel. Anything you need to do is on your phone. You don't have to leave your house to see friends because you're with your friends on your phone the whole time. So you're constantly entertained. You don't need to go outside to the beach anymore. Our lives are becoming more stagnant. So even if they want to live for a long life, perhaps not a healthy life.
Man, what you just said is so true. Like, I see people getting like one sandwich from Subway delivered to them. Oh, wow. Well, first of all, how does the guy deliver, even make any money doing that? But secondly, how hard is it just to go to
get
the
up
shop?
and get a sandwich?
But it's a trend. Like, hopefully, not one that's going to be with us for a long time, but I get the suspicion that it might be. Okay, let's get back into like where you spend your days in a gym environment. And how do you, someone brand new comes along and they say, look, I've never been to a functional training center before. What do you look for? How do you assess what's within their capabilities and what's sustainable for them versus what their goals may be, which might be somewhere between, I want to lose 10 kilos, or I've just picked up men's health and fitness and I want to look like that in 3 months.
Okay, so everyone will have a starting spot, and it is a high intensity gym, but within my space, it's filled with every different level. So everyone there has their own goals. Everyone there is working for themselves, so they're not really worried about the people around them. If you're brand new into that space, we probably start with strength training so that you're learning the technique first. That would be better to slow the pace down, learn your form. It will prevent injury, but it will also make class more enjoyable, because when it's overwhelming and you're running from one spot to the next and you have no idea what's going on, you feel like you're really out of your comfort zone. So starting with strength training, building that comfortability with a barbell, and just feeling like you can do the movements. And then as you grow in knowledge, then we add the Metcons or the cardiovascular classes. Some people don't even like barbell or strength classes that just want to do cardio. And so maybe start with smaller or lighter dumbbells rather than giving them a heavy barbell straight away.
So is you see a lot of podcasts and things that they talk about the greatest risk for people as they get older is the loss of muscle mass, and how that then slows down your metabolism, and that contributes to you putting on weight. And then when you put up weight, you're sedentary, and it's just like a snowball downhill. How does it like practically work? Like if I'm 30, do I start to lose lean muscle mass like at a rate like does it escalate as I get older?
Yeah, so as we age, our muscle declines, and so we need to use the muscle to keep the muscle or build the muscle. And the less we do, the less muscle we're going to have.
Yeah.
But to speed up your metabolism and to help you live your everyday life, to lift things or get out of bed or walk or stand up from sitting down as a squat, to do that, we need the muscles to work. And as they decline, your movement declines.
Is there like a sweet spot where it just get like it's hang on, pal, it's too late for you? And what I mean by that is let's say you're like a 50-year-old man, right? And you haven't been to the gym for 10 or 15 years, and you figure out that you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you don't really like what you see, but you see a 50-year-old Chris Hemsworth, ripped to bits, and you think, well, I can do that. Is that reality, or is it more of a case of, look, you can find a way to be much more have a higher level of health and fitness that you currently have, but you can't do things that people in their 20s and 30s can do.
Well, we can do anything if that's our goal, and then we dedicate our life to that goal. Okay. We can do it, but are you willing to give up everything to meet that goal? So you've already lived 50 years not living that goal, so there's a lot that we have to let go of.
Right, I understand. Yes.
Nutrition, you're not going to get a six-pack if you don't have one and you continue the same nutrition program. So you'll have to make a lot of changes for that to happen. But if you said it, you could get it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that people who really want to find a way to just make sure that they stay healthy, I think that is the underlying message that people have become much more aware of now. And I've been to your gym and others, and thinking about your gym in particular, I see people there who are in their late teens, and I see people there who are in their 60s, and they're all sharing the same space, and they may not necessarily be doing the same thing, but they've all got the same goal.
100%. Yeah. So I feel like we're moving away from, and I pray that we're moving away as a society from skinny. That's my goal. And in my gym, it's a word that we don't use.
Yeah.
If people accidentally use it, we change it. So we're not aiming to be skinny, because skinny is not healthy. Someone looking skinny and someone looking overweight are not healthy bodies. So we're trying to create the healthiest, happiest body that we can create through movement and exercise and nutrition. That's ways we can do that.
I think that's a generational change. Like, I can remember back, say, when I was in my teens or early 20s, and what you're talking about there in terms of skinny was really commonplace. And back in the days when no one had any knowledge about not rotisserizing themselves on the beach like a chicken, but now everyone is sun smart. So I think people have become really dialed into what they put in their mouth, in the main, or at least they should be. And is that the crux of the whole thing? Like, you hear terms like you can't out-train a bad diet and all that sort of stuff. Is that just really where it all begins? Like, you can train as much as what you want, but if you're going to eat rubbish, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Nutrition is everything. It's 80%. 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. So if you are exercising all day and then going to the bakery and going to KFC or a fast food to replace or replenish your body, you're not eating what your body needs to have your desired outcome.
Yeah.
Food is 80% or nutrition is 80%.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have gotten out of the habit of fresh food as well. And there's a lot, look, there are some practicalities associated with that, because it's not as affordable to go to the grocery shop anymore. Nothing's as affordable as it was. And rightly or wrongly, fast food appears to always being advertised now as cheaper than what it used to be. Like, get a big pizza for $5.
So easily available.
And it's readily available. You don't have to cook it. You just go and get it and eat it.
That's right.
In the car on the way home.
And also, homes are so different. So my mum worked, but she didn't work all morning to night time. So she was at home to prepare meals for our family. Whereas many homes have two working parents that are working really long hours, and then kids are doing sports after school till night time. So from rushing from work to school pickup to dropping kids off to picking kids up to then expecting a meal that's readily prepared.
Sure.
It's hard. Like, we just have to choose it hard, and food and exercise are hard that we get to choose.
Yeah, it's such a good point that you make, because the external pressures that are on people in life today, life is, I'm always saying to my kids that the 1980s was the best time that I ever had in my life, because life was slower, it was simpler, but they don't even know a life without the internet. And they find it completely bizarre that I used to have to use a phone that was drilled to the wall. So things were easier back then, and I don't think anyone would argue that they weren't. But it is what it is. And when people are really, really busy right now, and both families in most instances have to work to afford to live, health is a byproduct. It goes as a consequence of those that speedy lifestyle that we're living.
Yeah, we waste so much time. So we are all given the same amount of hours.
Yeah.
And we all use them differently, but what we choose to prioritize will be at the outcome, I guess, of our health or lack of health. So if you have time to sit and watch Netflix or scroll your phone hours and hours and hours on end, you're not going to have the healthy lifestyle that you may desire. But the person that does choose to sit on a couch and watch Netflix, again, choice and rest, maybe that's what they need. And someone that chooses to get up at 5 a.m. and start their day a little bit earlier, or walk or train, do strength training or be outside. Vitamin D is also really important. Those routines or morning tasks can set your day up, and then you use your time more wisely. And then your day can go through. So we can choose to exercise. We can try and fit that in. Even 15 minutes is better than no.
Sure.
So you have 2 dumbbells at home and you do some bicep curls and some squats, you're doing more than nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's really important.
So if someone's looking to set up their week, right? Because I know you fairly well. You are an extremely busy working mum. If someone was to set up their week in terms of forming some new habits about having healthy food ready to eat most nights of the week, what are some fundamentals that you would recommend to people to be able to get themselves or transition themselves into that position?
So what food, or how they would set their day?
Well, both.
Both? Okay. I would first ask them, when is the best time of day for you to train? So if you're not a morning person and you're forcing yourself to get there, but you don't perform well there, then there's no time. Maybe that time is where you prepare your dinner and you have a slow cooker at home and you chuck everything in.
I love the slow cooker.
So your morning set, you do your slow cooker in the morning, and then maybe you're a happier person at 5 p.m. and you're happy to jump into class then because you have more energy then. So what works for you won't work for the person next to you, but know when you perform well. So if I'm really, really motivated to get all my chores done between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m., do them then. Do your dishes, do your laundry, cook your dinner in the morning, and then you know that straight after work I'm going to go to the gym, because if I go home first and I sit down, I'm not going to get up again. So have your clothes packed, know where your shoes are. If you train early in the morning, sleep in your clothes the night before. Just be set yourself up to succeed, because it's really easy to find an excuse. You
should talk to my wife, because she's offended by the fact that I like to walk on the Esplanade early in the morning wearing my pajamas. So I'll mention this to her as a piece of advice. Okay, well, look, that's super interesting, because it almost does bring that into the realm of nearly everyone sort of can do it. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about some things that I notice a lot, which I might put into the barrel of fads, right? And one of them is that I see a lot of is don't eat anything for 3 days. Just drink water, or just let's do a.
So many people will be against what I think.
That's the idea of having a diversity of people come onto this podcast, because we're not asking them to conform. We're asking them to tell us, you're in the game. Tell us what you think. I mean, I can't fast for more than 3 hours at a time. I get super hangry and want to kill anybody in sight. But I've got friends of mine who will say, won't eat breakfast, eat lunch, won't eat anything till breakfast of the next day. That's a nightmare for me. So give me your take on that.
I have I've triggers. So my high school days, I had an eating disorder. I was very, very sick. I had anorexia. So the thought of fasting is not even allowed to enter. Like, I have no interest in fasting.
Sure.
I've starved myself before. So going back into that state and that mental state of fatigue and hair loss and sleep deprivation because I didn't sleep well, I never ever want to be sick again. And also on my mum passed away from breast cancer, and on her last day, she was the skinniest that she had ever been. And she was on every diet you could possibly be on for her whole entire life. And she said, I cannot believe I lived for this. So that was my wake-up call. I was like, I don't want to live to be skinny.
Yes.
I want to live to be well. And I already...
Wow, what a powerful message that is. I don't want to live to be skinny. I just want to live to be well.
And so I had my 2 boys then,